Dean Bloomberg, when I first met her, I said, listen, you just do it. Don't brag about it, don't say about it. Just do it and we will be there. You're awesome. You're helping many, many women of color into your institution, and you're being a great supporter. You didn't ask me to change, because I won't. And you've been an amazing supporter and a bridge builder. With that, could you please give a round of applause to bring to the podium Dean Bloomberg.
Good evening, everybody. I am really honored to be here. And for those of us, and I talked with many people tonight about this, you all know what this is like. When Fartun Welly asks you to do something, there is only one answer, and that is yes. I'm so happy to be able to be here to speak with you tonight, particularly as we talk about this theme of gratitude. I'm the Dean of the Humphrey School, and let me just stop there for a moment and make a shameless plug. For anybody who's interested in public policy, come and talk to me. I understand already from Fartun that there might be a couple of students in the audience who have thought about the Humphrey School, and I would love to talk with you about our programs. But one of the things we talk about at the Humphrey School right now, sadly, is that in this country and in many parts of the world, we live in a very difficult time. We have a rising level of nationalism. We are very divided publicly or politically. We are grappling with some level of increasing racism and Islamophobia in parts of this community and many other communities. There are a lot of reasons and a lot of things that divide us. And I think as a public policy school, at the Humphrey School, we have to address this. Issaroon has to address this. We all as a community have to face these realities. Sometimes I feel, though, like perhaps one of the best approaches is to turn, as Fartun was just saying, not to where the deficits are, but where our assets and our strengths are. And I think that this notion of gratitude really can change the world. So when Fartun told me she wanted an evening specifically focused just on gratitude, not specifically on fundraising, not on any else, simply on gratitude, I thought this is how we change our community. This is how we come together in a different way. So every one of you, this is the interactive part. I want you to think for a moment about something that you personally are very grateful for. It can be a little thing. It should be a little thing. Just something, but it should be specific. Something in your world you are grateful for. So I'm going to tell you what I've been thinking about, because I want to give you a sense of just how little it can be. It's not a big world-changing thing. I'm grateful for these times when my 2.5-year-old grandson grabs his color crayons, grabs paper, and then backs his little butt up onto my lap and sits down so that he can color with me. And everything else in the world falls away. My to-do list, what I have to do as a dean, my email, everything falls away, and all I have is this little person on my lap with his crayons and his paper. And I call up that image, and I am to my core grateful for that. So I want you all to think about what in your life is just one thing that you are deeply grateful for, and I'm actually going to give you a second to think about that. I'm guessing in this room we bring different religions, different faith traditions, different prayer traditions, but acknowledging that, I also believe that we have something collectively that we create together with all of our differences. So I'm going to ask you to do this. I want you to breathe in when I say let's breathe in, and I want you to breathe in the image of that gratitude, the image of it. And then when we all exhale together, I want you to breathe out your real, honest sense of gratitude for that thing, okay? So we're going to breathe in that image of our gratitude, and we're going to breathe out our actual gratitude. So grateful for that. Let's do it again. Breathe in your gratitude, the image, and breathe it out. So let me tell you something. I'm a researcher at heart. I'm an academic. I know, it's crazy, but I am. And so we think a lot about research, and I want to share with you something we know about this image of gratitude from a research, a sort of a proven perspective. There's really clear evidence that a true sense of gratitude does a lot of things for us physically. I think it makes us stronger policy people. I think Fartun is a stronger leader of Issaroon because of her gratitude. So here are some of the research-proven things we know. We know that gratitude opens us up to have more relationships in our life with other people. We know that gratitude can improve our physical health and well-being. We know that it can improve our emotional and psychological health and well-being. We know, there's a really interesting American Medical Association study, we know that gratitude can help us sleep better, which leads to being healthier. And we know that when we are grateful for things outside of ourselves, we start to feel better about ourselves. When you think about those things for which you're grateful, I think you can start to see that image of that. And oftentimes, it's the little things. Robert Brault, who is this great philosopher, I really appreciate him, reminds us that if we have gratitude for the little things today, we might look back one day and realize those actually were the big things. Our gratitude for the meal that was served for us tonight. Our gratitude for this beautiful space. Our gratitude for that incredible moon, if you saw it as you were coming in. Those seem like little things, but maybe when we look back, they actually will be the big things in our lives when we think about how we interact with community together. So when I think about that, and I think about Fartun, I'm with you, Fartun, that we can say we got a lot of guys and we got a lot of women in this group, but I want to speak now to the women. I believe that women in our lives have, for ages, been great role models for sharing gratitude. My mother used to say, your mother's mother's mother was grateful for when you were born. It's that multiple generation, the mothers in our community that tend us, that celebrate us, that take care of us. So I don't know what it is like to be a Somali woman in this community. I will never fully know what that is like. But there are a lot of things we have in common. All of us, men, women, children, adults in this room, we all had a mother, and we all had a mother's mother's mother who celebrated us over generations so that we could be where we are today. And I think that that's something that holds all of us together and something for which we can all be grateful. In this country, this year and into 2020, we will celebrate the 100th anniversary of women's right to vote in the United States. So this was something, the 19th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution passed out of Congress 100 years ago in 1919, saying that we cannot discriminate on the right to vote on the basis of gender. And then in 1920, it was ratified by the required number of states. So 100 years. Women have had the right to vote, is what we say, but that is not true. What it meant was we could not discriminate on the basis of gender. We could and did continue to discriminate on the basis of race. So women who looked like me have been able to vote for 100 years. And for that, I am very grateful. But it wasn't until decades later that we passed the Voting Rights Act, created other opportunities so that more of us had more rights to vote and to do other things. So this is not a civics lesson, I realize, but I use this as an example because I believe each generation needs to reinvent and reclaim this notion of gratitude and community, what we want and what we celebrate together. So even as we celebrate the 100th anniversary of women's suffrage, we need to come to terms with the fact that we're not talking about my colleague Tanisha. We're not talking about a lot of people. And still we celebrate it, we're grateful for it, and we reinvent anew. I'm inspired by Fartun Welly and the work of Issaroon because I think that's what Issaroon is about. It's about saying we are all we need to be right now. We are a whole, healthy, vibrant community, and we want more. We want more access, we want more rights, we want more opportunity, and we can do both of those things. We can come together and celebrate and be grateful. We can lift each other up. We can care for each other. And we can still demand more of ourselves and of our community. We can come together across all of our sister differences, our brother and sister differences, and make that journey together. I believe that when we honor and respect our differences, we see them, we honor them, we respect them, we build a greater sense of gratitude for each other. So I stand before you not because I am a Somali woman, but because I am a woman, because I am a member of this community, and so are all of us. And together, with our gratitude for each other, with our gratitude for those little things that you just thought of, my gratitude for my grandson plopping his butt down on my lap so we can color together, whatever it is, we create a different space for ourselves. I want you to hold on to that image as we think about where we need to go. When I went through the food line, and I hope you noticed it, if you didn't, when we break, I hope you go back and look at it. There's this little blue tag board on an easel, and it has pictures of where Issaroon used to be, and it has pictures of the new building now. Issaroon holds the mortgage, it owns the building, and little things like new carpet that doesn't look disgusting, seems so simple, but it makes a huge difference when you look at that photo. There's a huge level of gratitude. It took everybody in this room, all of these partners, to make that possible, because people like Fartoon and so many of the rest of you thought we are enough. We are enough as a community, and still we want more. We want a nice building. We want good space. We want what this community deserves. So that little piece of tag board with its 8 or 7, whatever number of pictures on it, to me is a perfect image of that. I'm grateful for the servers of tonight's food. I'm grateful for the staff who work so hard. I'm grateful for the remarkable community we have where we're allowed to be together in this way and share this kind of an evening. And also, I think when we think about Issaroon and the women it serves and the women who supports it, it's helpful to remember this great line that behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful men and women who have her back. And that's what we should all do for each other. Thank you very much.